Hey guys, it's Michelle. How you doing? So tonight's video is a what's for dinner, and I've gone over my meal plan earlier in the week, and tonight's dinner was already set to be some fish, some homemade macaroni and cheese, and a vegetable, of which I am going to make fresh asparagus. So I'll just let you know where I'm at in the process. As far as the fish goes, I just had this little piece of halibut left from a previous recipe that I had made. So one tiny little piece there, and obviously that's not enough for two people. So I'm going to just pop that in my cast iron skillet for my husband. And then I am making just 2 haddock fillets that I bought at one of our local grocers, that they hand bread them there, and they have been frozen, so I'm just going to pop those in the oven as well. My water's going for my macaroni and cheese, and tonight I am using the large shells, so I'm going to pop those in now and let those cook a while. I have my cheese sauce ready, which when you're making macaroni and cheese, again, I think this is something that you can use whatever you have laying around. I had half of a block of Velveeta. I had some chunks of sharp cheddar cheese that I had left over from New Year's Eve that we didn't eat with our bologna. We just had probably like 12 pieces, so I threw them in there. I have some butter in there, some salt and pepper, some onion salt, some mustard, and I'm going to throw quite a bit of milk in then too, and I'm going to bake that in the oven with cornflake crumbs. And right now I'm going to get my asparagus washed and put on my baking tray, because I do like to roast my asparagus. So I will come back to you once I have everything a step further and let you know where I'm at. Okay, so I have my asparagus ready to roast in the oven. All I do is drizzle it with olive oil, sprinkle salt and pepper all over it, and just put 3 little pats of butter on the top. It only takes about 10-12 minutes to cook it. It depends on how soft you like your asparagus. I still like a little bit of a crisp to mine. That way, if we do have leftovers, I can reheat it and know that it isn't going to turn to mush. Or sometimes I will use my leftovers of asparagus cold in a salad. And I'm making that potato and green bean salad later in the week, so I could maybe even throw in a little leftover asparagus if I'd like as well. So that's just my pan for my halibut for later. So now I'm going to finish my macaroni and cheese. I did drain this a while, so I'm going to add a generous portion of milk to this. Alright, and now I'm going to attempt to do this one-handed. I'm going to pour my cheese right over the top and then get this all mixed up. And for this I'm probably going to have to use 2 hands. So I'm going to get back to you in a second. Okay, I've added the cheese sauce and mixed it up. Again, we'll see a generous portion of milk. That will get sucked up, and since the cheese sauce was a very thick sauce, that will thin out and you will have a super creamy mac and cheese. So this was a 16-ounce box of macaroni. I know I used a good 1.5 cups of milk that I just poured directly over the noodles after I put them in the casserole dish. So then once it is done cooking, and I've stirred it around several times in the oven, at the very end I will add some cornflake crumbs onto it just to give it a little bit of a crunch on the top. So I'll let you know how everything turns out. I'll be back. Okay, so I just pulled the macaroni and cheese out and sprinkled my cornflake crumbs on it. I'm getting ready to pop the asparagus in the oven. And that's all just going to bake together with the fish, and putting my macaroni back in again. And I'm going to get my halibut started.